Sleep paralysis is one of the most strange, fascinating, and terrifying phenomena that can happen to anyone. It is the sensation of being unable to move your body when you wake up, while your mind is fully conscious and aware. You feel like you are trapped in a limbo between sleep and wakefulness. I had heard many stories about sleep paralysis before, but I'd never experienced it myself until one night in college. It was a very stressful time in my life, and I was not getting enough sleep. It was the night before my last final exam, and I had stayed up all night studying for biology. I don't remember when I finally fell asleep, but everything became blurry and dark. The next thing I remember, I was in my room, lying on my bed, but something was off. I felt a weird fog in my mind, like I was awake but not fully alert. I tried to move my body, but I couldn't. I was paralyzed. I could only move my eyes and look around the dark room. At some point, I turned my gaze to the side of the room and then back to the center. And there she was, a woman standing in the middle of the room, facing my bed. She was wearing a black dress and holding some long objects in her hands. I wanted to call out Mom, but my paralysis prevented me. I couldn't make a sound. The woman came closer to me until she knelt down and touched my forehead. I could feel her cold hand on my skin. She looked into my eyes, and I saw my mother's face. I tried to say Mom again, desperately, but I was stuck in my own body. She stood up and walked to the doorway before disappearing into the house. I lay there, unable to move, for what felt like an eternity. Maybe it was 10 or 20 seconds, I don't know. Then my vision suddenly became clearer, and I could think more clearly as well. I was able to sit up. I jumped out of the bed, screaming Mom over and over. I ran to the bedroom hallway, yelling her name. A door opened down the hall, and someone came to hug me. But it wasn't my mom. It was my dad, telling me he misses her too. My mom had died 3 weeks before this happened. You see, I love dreams. I love how vague and bizarre they can be. You feel like you are in a different world where anything can happen. But what happens when that weirdness crosses over to the real world? You'll see what I mean in a minute. I was in REM sleep, having this bizarre nightmare about being chased by some weird creature in the woods. The dream became fuzzy though, and I kind of woke up from it. I say kind of, because while I was out of the dream and back in my bed, I couldn't move a muscle on my body. I started hearing this faint, weird noise. It was this indescribable, robotic, yet alive type of sound. It started light and soft, but it repeated every 3 seconds. I noticed it was getting slightly louder every time. I felt like the sound was getting closer. It got so unbearably loud in my head, I just wanted to scream, but I couldn't. Then my eyes locked onto the closet door, specifically the crack in the closet door, which I never leave open, ever. There was this distorted face of a man, looking between the crack, with this unhumanly large, open-mouthed smile. And every time I heard the noise, it seemed as if the closet and the face were getting closer. Until the closet door slammed shut and everything went silent. I regained control of my body shortly after that, and the first thing I did, even though I was 24 years old, was run to my parents' room to get my dad to check the closet with me. There was nothing in the closet though, or the rest of my room. My dad seemed pretty confident that what I just experienced was sleep paralysis, and that he had experienced it once as well. That didn't make me feel any less disturbed about what I just went through. Many years ago, I had a sleep paralysis experience. I knew there was a thing in my closet, something really evil, but I also knew I was dreaming and I should face my fear. I tried not to look directly at the closet door, but if I moved my eyes, my head would turn away. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't look directly at it. Then I woke up in a cold sweat. At first, I felt really relieved that it was over, but very shortly I realized it wasn't a dream, and there was really something in the closet. I was lying on my back and couldn't move. I didn't really hear it, but I could kind of feel the sickening laughter wash over me in waves, emanating from the closet. All of a sudden, the thing threw a human head at me, and it landed on my chest, face up. It was this girl I knew in high school. Up to this point, I was kind of holding it together, terrified, but not panicked. Well, I lost it now. I couldn't even scream. All I could do was make these grunting sounds and moaning noises. I was wriggling and straining, trying to rock from side to side to get it off me.